Good evening.
You changed that again.
I did. I've been busy this week. So who would have known, Dave, that we're responsible for the Titanic going down? But yikes. A lot of stuff going on there.
I didn't I was setting stuff up back here and I look over, I'm like, that's not from last week.
Oh man.
I had to stop setting up other things over here. I just had to watch what you put together.
Yeah.
I think you do this more and more now that you just see your own AI stuff, I think is what's happening at this point.
I'll tell you what, I get these because my sleep cycle is weird. Like I'll go to sleep just fine, but then I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm wired. My brain's racing. The upside is I come up with some really cool ideas for the videos. So yeah, I put that time to use. So good use, I think.
They say that Martha Stewart keeps a pad next to her bed for when she wakes up in the morning and she writes down her ideas. Is that what you're doing? Is you're just like, oh, I gotta make sure I write that down and then make it.
Sometimes I'll grab my phone sometimes and put a note in there and then I put it back on the stand and then go back to sleep. But yeah, it's genius. That's what it is. It's a genius at work. So
I kind of relate. We sleep trained our children, and they'd always had their wake up at 4 in the morning, so that they can have their night feed and do the change and all that. And so we sleep trained the kids, and we sleep trained ourselves. So I'm getting up every day at 4 for like a half hour and then going back to sleep. So that's when I have the same thought. I have tons of thoughts at 4 in the morning. I kind of wish I wasn't sleep trained.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it personally. I'd rather just sleep through the night, but yeah, it's not fun. But so how was your week been?
You know what? It's been busy, but it's been good. Got a sunburn, went to the beach, started my Memorial Day, thankfulness a little early.
Yes, that's right. This weekend, Memorial Day.
Remember, Memorial Day is where we thank those who gave their lives. Veterans Day, we thank those that are still alive. I gotta say, Ken, I thought we were done with the love bugs, but they are up, at least down me, they are back. And it's just like a third wave of just thick love bug everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
season
with that.
this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's because of we've been in such a drought, but we got I don't know about you guys, but we got dumped on late this afternoon, like for a while. So
it's like
the love bugs are gone.
Sarasota, at least up here, it seems like there's just a wall that doesn't let it rain right over my house. So we had like a spittle like yesterday evening around now, and that's it. So hopefully, allegedly, it's going to rain tonight. But
yeah, we got dumped on yesterday and today. So, but yeah.
We need it. We need it. This is like an old person conversation. We need the rain.
My bones are aching again. It's gonna rain. Yeah.
People, you work at church. Everyone's like, we were in a drought. I'm like, yeah, I know. We're 40 plus inches behind. I think I've had that conversation at church. I think you could count on 2 hands now.
Yeah. Well, let me hit this video because I think it's time to bring our viewers up to date on what's going on here. So, Dave, as you know, we're going to review it next week, but tonight was the premiere opening of the Mandalorian movie. So, I kind of gave a little bit of prediction last week what I thought it would be like, and I've purposely not watched anything on it today. My youngest son has seen it, and I'm like, don't say anything. I don't want to know. I want to keep it, that we know, we look at it. We're going to go, you and I watch it tomorrow and we'll see where we are. But, I have high hopes for it, but I don't really have high expectations, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but I think it's going to be like watching another episode of The Mandalorian on TV. I think the hype is definitely there. The stuff they're putting out there that you can buy everywhere. Burger King is in on it and everything. And would you say Bed Bath and Beyond? They're in
Yeah,
on
we
it.
look yeah, I always do that.
So
It's Bath& and Body Works. Bed Bath& and Beyond sells towels.
one of those
Bath& and
things,
Body
yeah.
Works sells, it's all
It
women's stuff.
it has something to do with bedrooms and bathrooms and stuff, but, yeah, they're selling stuff too, so there's a lot of hype for it, but I just don't I predict it's not gonna make the cut. I just don't think it's if it was a movie about Luke Skywalker, that could be a different story, but I don't think Mandalorian's gonna make it to, at that level, but time will, we'll see next week if I'm right or not. What
Yeah,
do you think?
my fear is it's like you're saying, that you and I have spent some money on something that could have been 2.5 episodes of TV, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that we're gonna see something that is just gonna be, to quote the kids, mid, just mediocre, not underwhelming, and should have been made for Disney Plus. And I'm really afraid of that. The big issue that I think is gonna happen as well is, I was sharing this before we hopped on. I believe this movie has to make total receipts $500 million to
That's
clear.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
And let me ask you this: was your son excited about it? Did he seem
Um,
happy?
he did seem happy though, so that gives me hope. That gives
Okay,
me hope.
that's as
Now,
much as I don't want to know anything else.
yeah, I'll say this. I hope I'm wrong about this. I hope it's gonna be like, wow, that was amazing. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm all for a good Star Wars movie, believe me. So I hope that I'll watch this tomorrow and be like, wow, that was amazing. I just don't think that's gonna happen. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of where I am on it. So
Well, you know what though? Allegedly, depending on what movie theater you go to, they are selling The Mandalorian at popcorn bucket. So if
well,
you want to spend about $50 on a popcorn bucket that you will
mm,
never put popcorn in to put on your shelf to collect dust,
yes.
you can have a. I mean, let's be real. Who is making Star Wars toys anymore, really? Like, can you even get them as much as they used to? I
See,
think
that's
Lego, right? Lego's about it these days.
yeah, I mean, back when I was a kid, there were Star Wars toys everywhere. I mean, for years after the movies were made, they were still pumping out Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, you would think there was a market for it, but maybe there's not anymore. You would think they'd be selling stuff all over the place, but, you know, toys, video games, all kinds of stuff, and maybe I'm just out of the loop, but I don't see it. I don't see it in the stores. I don't see it advertised much. Now, The Mandalorian, there's been a lot of advertising again with like through Burger King and
Secondary stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe they're catching
That's
on, but I don't
if
know.
I
We'll
read
see.
correctly, they spent $150 million on advertising.
I believe it.
That's
I
that's a
believe it.
lot of money. This thing has to make money.
Yeah.
If it so so I'll agree with you. I want it to do well. I don't want to feel like you and I just sat down and watched 3 episodes of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I
Or
do not want a
Starfleet
TV
Academy.
show. Well, if so this is the problem with Starfleet Academy. That can't be our basement.
So let me
You know what
ask
I
you
mean?
this. Let me ask you this. What is the um and all the times you've ever been to the movie theater, what is the one movie you would say was the worst one you've ever seen in the theater that made you want to walk out? Or maybe you did walk out?
That's hard because yeah, I don't know if there's ever been a film that I had like, yeah, I'm not finishing this. I don't think I've ever gone to a movie that I didn't finish. Um, because look, you know what, Ken, the one thing you and I have, and maybe it's because of our age, we were pretty spoiled with riches most of our adult lives. It's only been the last, I want to say, 6 years that movies have been utter garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how many movies have you walked out on? Like, you went and you're like, I need get my money back.
Well, there was one I almost walked out on, and this was, I don't know, 25 years ago probably, but it was, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Really?
That I thought
Mel
that movie
Brooks?
was horrible. It was I went with a one of my best friends, and we both have like the same. Both had like the same sense of humor, and we were the two guys back in church youth group that were cutting up all the time and making jokes, and no one else knew what we were talking about, and we're laughing hysterically. But we both went there and we're like, "Should we get up and leave? Maybe there's another movie in another one of the other theaters we could watch." It was that bad in my book. I did not. I'm not a Mel Brooks fan. I just don't
Okay,
think he's funny. I know a lot of people think he's funny. I just don't. He's not my type of sense of humor. So, yeah,
that's
that's the
fair
one
enough.
movie we watched. I almost walked out on.
So, have you seen Spaceballs then?
I have, I have, but I saw it. Oh man, it's been so long. Um, I don't even remember much about it. So I know Spaceballs 2 is coming out. I
Oh
don't know if it's
yeah,
out
is that
already.
this year? No, no, no.
I think
When
it's.
that comes out, that's gonna be a hit. I don't. Well, that's a whole. We
We'll
can
have
have
to
that
watch.
conversation.
Yeah, we'll have to review that
I
one.
don't think parody films like that. I think that comedies are basically dead. So hopefully it does. It's got the my problem is it going to be a dirty comedy or is it going to be a true comedy?
Yeah,
And
that's
I
hard to tell.
like when's the last time a comedy came out in theaters? I can't think of one.
In
Um,
theaters,
yeah, like when is what's uh, the
well,
last time I saw a comedy had to be pre 2019.
did the Naked Gun come out in theaters, or was that just on TV?
We did watch that. We reviewed that. That
Yeah,
did come out in the last 6 years, didn't it?
yeah,
And that was I wanna say that is not the funniest one, but it is in that kind of old vein of, like, Airplane,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's other than that, I haven't seen a comedy in forever. Yeah,
yeah.
you really got me thinking, what was the last movie I walked out on? I don't think I have. We have been spoiled for riches until very recently. Like, we
Yeah.
just have been. Um, Movies were excellent between 2000 and 2016, and they were okay from 16 to 20, and then they've been terrible from 20 till today.
Yeah.
With an exception of the 2 Mario movies, Project Hail Mary. What's another good one that came out? You've seen a couple recently. You're like, that's not bad. There really hasn't been a single good Disney film. Mandalorian, not Mandalorian. Rogue One was a good Disney film,
Mhm. Yeah,
and
that
I
was a
don't think there's
while
been
ago.
anything else.
Yeah. Well, I guess tomorrow we'll see, or next week for our
We'll
viewers.
let you know next week, everybody.
Yes.
Say a prayer for us. You know what? It's going to be good hanging out. That's at the
Yeah,
very minimum.
it'll be
You and
good.
I. So this is how I see it. Either we'll have something we're like, "Wow, that was great," or we'll be like, "Wow, that was a movie," and then we'll have something to talk about.
That's
For
right.
personally, it's a win for you and me in one respect or the other.
Yeah.
But I uh I hope it's a two win, not a one win, because I we want Star Wars to win. We want Star Wars to be good. We want Star
Mhm.
Wars to be enjoyable. Um, Maybe this is well, we'll see. We'll so
We'll see.
our speculation is that my speculation is it's got to be two TV shows stitched together, and
Yeah.
I just truly that's what I'm expecting.
Hope I'm wrong, but yeah, I think that could be it too. Well, speaking of Star Wars, Dave, this would be a good time to segue into our next segment. So, Dave, tonight we talked about, I think we talked about this off air. I don't think we talked about it on air, but we wanted to kind of talk about some movies we think would be cool to have Muppets in it. And you and I were talking last week, and I thought to myself, I seem to remember there was something about Muppets in Star Wars. And sure enough, I found it. And this was put out on the Muppet Show, season 4, which was 1980. And it
Wow.
was Mark Hamill and R2D2, C3PO, and Chewbacca all ended up on the Muppet Show. And so, got some slides here, and Gonzo is Darth Vader, and I'll tell you what, and Miss Piggy, of course, as Princess Leia. And so I watched it today, and I gotta say, wow, it's cheesy. How the Muppet Show ever stayed on air as long as it did, I don't know, but um, it was funny though. I'm like, man, this was made it in 1980, and this particular show came out just a couple months before they released Empire Strikes Back. So
Okay.
there was a lot of buzz going on, obviously, at that point of another Star Wars movie, and so this came out. Now, I don't know if you know this. I didn't know this, but Frank Oz, who was the voice of Yoda. Do you know who else he was the voice of?
Um, Grover from Sesame Street, right?
Probably, but I was thinking of somebody
Oop.
else closer to this. Somebody I never would have guessed.
Say again, you just cut out on me.
It's somebody that's probably true, but somebody else I never would have guessed.
No idea then.
Miss Piggy.
What?
Yes. He is also the voice of Miss Piggy.
That's a
So,
guy?
yes.
Was a guy?
Yes.
The voice actor for Yoda is the same voice actor for Miss Piggy?
Yes. Frank Oz.
What?
Yes.
No way. I gotta look. I mean, I believe you, but what?
Yeah, I was surprised too. So the
Is he
funny
still
thing
alive?
about
No, he's not.
no, I don't
No,
think
is he?
so.
No, he's still alive. He's
Is he?
81 years old.
Whoops. Sorry, Frank. Um, yeah, so the funny thing about this show, well, the Muppet Show, um, is filmed in England. And
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back, the bulk of it, like the soundstage stuff was filmed like across the street in England. So they were like visiting each other during while they're filming in the Muppet Show and back and forth. And, there's pictures of, um, different characters like with Yoda and stuff like that because they were all like intertwined basically. You would never know by watching the show. But
Wow.
um, so it was easy for them to do these crossovers and do these specials and stuff because literally, Luke Skywalker is probably, finishing up filming and he jumps over there and ends up on the Muppet Show. So,
Huh.
but yeah, it was different watching Mark Hamill try to sing and stuff like that. It was a little strange, but felt a little embarrassed for him. But yeah, it's a half an hour of time that I can never get back. But it kind of reminded me in some ways of the Star Wars Christmas special, which is really bad. It's really cheesy. But it's funny though, Dave, what they would allow like back then using these characters and doing these things with them. Like, it was all publicity. That's how they did their
Sure.
publicity stuff. Stuff that you would never see them do today, in movies. They don't just have movie characters going around and showing up on shows. Hey, here we are. But that's, kind of how they advertised back then. So, um, but yeah, it was an interesting episode. But it was cool though. I'm like, man, this was 46 years ago. It was like that's crazy. It's been that long.
So I'm looking it up. Miss Piggy has always been voiced by a guy. So
That's crazy. I never knew that. I never knew that till I looked it up this week.
so Frank Oz was the first one, and then Jacobson, I didn't to blank on his first name, is currently voicing Miss Piggy.
Mm, that's
Oh
crazy.
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they do that. So anyway, what this got, Ken and I were thinking about Muppets because he and I offline were talking about what movies should be remade with Muppet characters. Now, if you've seen the Muppets Christmas Carol, they took
Mhm.
a great book and they made them into it. And so my theory is that they should do that with all the classical books. It's just like Muppetize them and make it funny.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what is this? You learn something new every day. Yes, that's my bride using my account right there. So here is the question that Ken and I had. So here's our rules, Ken. We're going to look at movies like Star Wars that can they be remade with Muppets? Who are the Muppets? Who is the human? Because there's always one or two human beings.
Yeah.
And what did that movie look like? And so my test case is the Terminator. And so we're going to do Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. After that, whatever. So when talking with Ken, I believe that if you were to remake the Terminator with Muppets, Arnold stays Arnold and everyone else is a Muppet.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
And Miss Piggy obviously has to be Sarah Connor. and, and maybe the man who comes back in time to protect her is also a human.
No, I think he should be Kermit the Frog.
You think it should be Kermit that comes back to
that makes sense. Kermit the Frog.
And so Arnold is trying to kill the hunt down the Muppets.
That'd be a good or it could be the Swedish Chef. One of the two.
That comes to protect Miss Piggy, or
Yes.
Yes. And every time there's always mishaps, and obviously the people who invent Skynet are Beaker and what's the professor's name? Oh, why am I not remembering it?
I don't have his name here. Or it could be the grumpy old men.
Oh man, that'd be
Statler and Waldorf.
Statler and Waldorf. Good job pulling it. Kermit should totally be the Terminator. No. I think it has to be
Arnold.
You got to keep Arnold because this is young Arnold. He's just all muscles and all accent.
Yeah.
And hi ho, Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Kermit. Yeah. He's the I can't remember the guy's name. The guy that comes back in time to save his. Turns out it's his son, but this is weird. But yeah. No, I think that's now Terminator 2.
I'm pulling it up here. I'm gonna pull up something.
Arnold's the good guy.
Yeah, so he's still in there. He's still the good guy. But the second Terminator, if you guys remember it, is based on they have the liquid metal Terminator.
Yeah.
And so I think this Terminator in Terminator 2 should be Sam Eagle.
Yeah. He kind of looks like a Terminator.
And so he's chasing after little John Connor, who is obviously Kermit, or is he Gonzo? At that point, he's
could. Yeah, you know what, Gonzo. I think Gonzo fits better.
And you still have Sarah Connor, who is Miss Piggy, and Sam Eagle is chasing after them, and of course, Arnold has to keep Sam Eagle away, who is liquid, so he continues to chase after them. I think that this movie would be absolutely hilarious. All right, Ken.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Now, let me ask you about this one. Who is who in Indiana Jones?
Well, Harrison Ford has to stay Indiana Jones. Now, which one are you talking about, though? Which movie?
So, does Sean Connery stay Sean Connery in 3?
Okay, so 3. All right, yeah, let's go with 3. Let's see, who could be Sean Connery?
Or is he replaced by Waldorf and Statler?
Or maybe Sean Connery is the only one that's a human in 3.
So what happens to Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford, that's probably Kermit.
I don't know. I don't think you could get rid of Harrison Ford. What if Kermit is the little side character, like usually the Asian kid or the Mexican kid, or you know?
Yeah. That's tough
Just
because there's so many. You also have in 3, you have young Harrison Ford as well, young Indiana as well
yeah,
in the beginning, and then the bad guy who comes back later. There's a lot of characters in the 3rd one. Um, let me how about Raiders of the Lost Ark? That might be a simpler one to use. So, obviously, Miss Piggy would be, what's her name? The brunette there, I can't remember her
yeah.
name. Um, and then Harrison Ford. Um, let's see, the guy with the German guy, the Nazi guy with the glasses and he wears the black. Um, boy,
You
who would
can't.
that be?
Maybe that would be like Scooter, or maybe
Maybe
the
the
what
Swedish Chef.
the Swedish Chef is chasing around. Hurry, bird, der.
And
And
then the other guy there, what's his name?
who's the giant Muppet that what's I'm gonna pull up the list to make sure I got the name. The guy who looks like looks like Bigfoot.
Oh, I don't know his name. I
I'm
don't have
looking
him
at
on my list
the
either.
I'm pulling up the list right next to me here. Um Names with pictures. Because I can imagine you can't have Sam Eagle be the bad guy. That's not gonna work. Pull, no, not Sesame Street. Sesame Street characters actually would be pretty funny if they were
Yeah,
incorporated in there, since they're Jim Henson made them up. But
Snuffleupagus.
Snubble,
He's the bad
who,
guy.
who's Fozzie? Who's Fozzie Bear?
Fozzie Bear. Yeah, the guy that wears the top hat.
Yeah, who would he
Um,
be?
oh, he's probably the who's that guy? He was like working with the oh, I can't remember his name though. He was kind of like the head guy, but he was working with the Germans, but he had his own agenda. To get the arc, and he wore a hat
That
like
should.
that.
Oh, you know
So
who that should be? That should be Dr. Bunsen, who is the scientist with Beaker.
okay, yeah,
They're
yeah,
trying to get
trying to get the arc.
get the technology, get the
Yeah,
arc. Obviously, that is well, and Waldorf, and I think that Sean Connery should be replaced with both Waldorf and Statler. Ho, 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 ho.
takes two of them to
To be
fill
just the
his
one
shoes.
guy. I
Yeah,
think that'd be excellent.
they just
Um,
alternate back and forth.
You
That
know
works.
who had a really good list on that one was Caleb. He had that on lock. All right, so here's the next one. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park,
The first
the first
film,
one. Okay.
I think what was his name? Goldblum has to stay the human.
Yeah, yeah. He's the only human.
and the dinosaurs are obviously Muppets.
Yeah,
You know, it'd be really funny is if you never see the T-Rex, but you see Big Bird's legs. That's all you see instead of the
yeah.
T-Rex
And then Snuffleupagus could be like the other dinosaurs, the big ones that roam around.
that walk through. Um, of course, amongst the kids would have to be, you know what, just make them Bert and Ernie, since we're already crossing into the other stream there.
Yeah.
And then what's his name who played, so they had the two adults in that. I'm looking it up. Jurassic Park film.
So
So
Miss
you
Piggy could
had
be the girl, the woman.
Jeff Goldblum, of course, is a human. Sam Neill is Alan Dr. Grant. Dr. Grant was like the hardcore. Who would he be? Obviously, Laura Dern is going to be Miss Piggy. She has to
Yeah,
be all the female parts.
yeah.
Richard Attenborough was John Hammond. John Hammond was the spare no expense guy. Um, you know what would be really funny? What if Count Von Count, one,
Oh, yeah.
What if
He
he
could
was one of the characters?
he could be the administrator of the park.
Who is the bad guy though? Who was in what's that TV show in Seinfeld?
Newman, but it
Newman.
wasn't the guy that played Newman, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he could be the Swedish chef.
Okay. He's got to be your favorite character. You keep putting him in all the roles.
Yeah, I like his,
Just chopping up
the
chickens.
dinosaur grabs the outhouse and leaves him behind. Yeah, that's a good part of the movie.
All right, so the big guy, by the way, his name is Sweetums.
Sweetums, okay.
He's the one that's like a human-sized person. And then of course there's Mayhem. What's the band's name? Where you have Dr. Teeth, Sergeant Floyd Pepper, just a few of those like that. I don't know who Gonzo. You know what? Maybe Grant Allen is Gonzo. No, that'd have to be Kermit, wouldn't it? Laura, the woman and the man would have to be Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
That's Alan Grant and whatever her face is.
Yeah.
Spared no expense. Count Pound Count would be really funny. And all of the dinosaurs have to be never see their face, but you just see like their legs or like their trunks.
Yeah.
And they come after them, or until the last scene where the T-Rex is in the big hall, and then it's just giant Big Bird.
Mm-hmm.
He would be Fozzie Bear. Who would be Fozzie Bear? The Hammond, is that who you're talking about? Would be Fozzie Bear?
Fozzie Bear.
Caleb, I should have had you on here for this one.
Yeah,
Newman would be Fozzie Bear.
Newman, okay.
So the bad guy would be Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie Bear.
I mean, I could see it.
Yeah, I guess because he doesn't, he's playing, he's not openly the bad guy. He's doing it behind the scenes, so I guess that would work.
All right, let me go to another one. Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Is Tom Cruise still in it, or is Tom Cruise replaced by Kermit or
I think Tom Cruise has to stay. Man, and then of course it depends on which one you're talking about.
I was just thinking of the first one.
Yeah. So
was
the first one.
In the TV show, Leonard Nimoy was in the TV show?
Yeah, I think he was in the last season, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
John Voight is in it. Tom Cruise, John Voight. Let's see. These are some of these other names I don't know. Jean Reno, who's one of the bad guys. Emilio Estevez is in it. Really? That's Martin Sheen's son, one of his sons?
Yeah. He was on. Yeah, he actually got killed. A tragic elevator accident in that movie. Yeah, he was the one. He was one of the good guys, but he was in the first one. So, and then after that, they kind of changed the cast where he had Tom Cruise and his regular guys through the rest of the show. But let's see. Yeah, so you have Tom Cruise, and then the guy in charge there, whatever his name is. I mean, Tom Cruise played Ethan Hunt, but then there was somebody, the main guy. He would probably be who would he be? Maybe Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear might fit him. Kind of the head guy. And then let's see.
Did the voice on the tape that changed in every single one of them?
Yeah. Kermit could be Emilio Estevez, who gets squashed in the elevator.
Oh no.
It's terrible, but that's all right.
They don't have a consistent like woman either until like the last couple of movies.
Yeah. Yeah, really the only consistent. Well, there's Tom Cruise, and then he's got
Luther Stickel, which is the black guy.
Yeah. Yep. And then the guy that played Scotty in the Chris Pine Star Trek movies.
Simon Pegg. Yeah. He's
a regular.
Mission Impossible 3 Forward. That's got to be. Oh, who
Swedish
would
Chef.
that be? he's he's your guy. That's what it is. I mean, that'd be funny.
You could make him the
Obviously,
human in that one and have everyone else be a Muppet. You could do that
I
too.
so if that would be Tom Cruise, then it would have to be Tom Cruise. It'd have to be Kermit,
Yeah.
and he'd do the thing on the floor like this.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. I'm just looking at the list here. You
Simon
know who
Pegg could be
should?
the one guy and everybody else is
By the
Muppets.
way, M and James Bond would have to be Waldorf and Statler, just making fun of them all the whole time. Or of course, Dr. Beaker. Because you
Yeah.
obviously have to get Waldorf and Statler in every film. You got to do that because they're just going to deride them. Or are
Yeah.
they the voice on the tape?
Probably in Mission Impossible, probably the voice on the tape, and they're going back and forth, and they're arguing as well on the tape while they're giving their mission.
Because I
That would
think
work.
that would work really well, actually. And
That would work.
just arguing and then making fun of each other. That'd be really good. All right,
Yeah.
Ken, you lob a movie out there. What's one that you think would be really good to remake with Muppets?
The Sound of Music.
What? Who's the okay? So
Miss Piggy
just-
is
is
what's her name?
oh no!
Yes, that would work.
Why am I blanking on?
I can't. Maria.
Yeah, she would play Maria, but the name I don't know why Julie Andrews' name is just escaping me. So
And
you
then
think that's Miss Piggy instead of Julie Andrews?
Yeah, that would work. Nothing
So-
against Julie Andrews.
So is Christopher Plummer, who plays, the Baron, is that Kermit then? Are they singing to each other?
You know what? That is Christopher Plummer, isn't it? I
Yeah.
just realized that. Huh.
We just watched this film with the kids. I want to say, well, we watched it, and my one child was so moved, she cried after we watched it. She was so touched by how good The Sound of Music is. She had tears in her eyes. I was thinking, "Oh, sweetheart, you got a good heart." So it'd have to be Kermit and Miss Piggy would be the two main adult leads.
Yeah, now you got me distracted because Christopher Plummer, I didn't even put that together until you just said that. Of course, that's Christopher Plummer. Of course, he was in a lot of stuff, but Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country, where he played a Klingon. Yeah.
That's right.
amazing.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Wow. He passed away in 21.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in Star Trek. I can
Yep.
see it now.
Mm-hmm.
Man's
Crazy.
got some pipes. Let me tell you, he can sing really well.
I don't know. Now that you said that, I'm like, duh. But yeah, I never even put that together. Yeah, you're right. It is him. Because I haven't seen Sound of Music in a long time. I saw it as a kid. That's the last time I seen it. So
really, truly worth seeing. Like definitely worth just watching through again. It's really, by the way, really good with kids. But yeah, so obviously it'd have to be, you'd have to have the two of them be Piggy and Kermit. And then the children would have to be, it'd be funny if it was the Musical Mayhem group. Like just the rock band that's always following around. If that was just the kids.
Yeah. That would work. The chaos and destruction.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Or of course you could have like one of them also be the Tiny Tim from the Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, the Christmas Carol. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have the one of the tiny frogs. Who would the other nuns be when she escapes the nunnery, when she gets kicked out, basically?
Statler and Waldorf dressed up in the nun outfits.
See, here's the thing. I feel like this movie could be remade with Muppets because of how silly it is. And the songs, because in my mind, I think Muppets should be singing all the time. So them singing the Sound of Music soundtrack is great.
Yeah, that would work. I think that would work great.
They're kids doing them singing. The The Nunnery. The bad guys would be hard to cast. But see, they don't really show up until the end.
Yeah.
All right, that was an excellent one. What's another one you could think of?
Oh boy. Lord of the Rings.
Okay. All right, you go ahead. I want to hear this one.
Oh boy. I just came up with that, so I'm not even sure.
Who's
So
Who's Frodo? Who's Aragorn? Who's Gandalf? Let's do the big three.
Frodo.
Is Aragorn Kermit and is Miss Piggy Arwen the woman in the movie? The
Yeah,
female
she'd have to be Arwen. Um,
elf?
the Swedish chef could be Frodo.
Is Ian McKellen the only human in the show because he's trying to get these Muppets to go destroy the ring?
Yeah, and all they do is start singing. They don't actually do anything. They just
So
start
then
breaking out in song.
Frodo, I mean the Swedish chef, of course, but Frodo's got to be Gonzo and Fozzie Bear, got to be Sam and Frodo, and Rizzo's got to be either Sam or Pippin. I mean Pippin or what's his name? Mary or Pippin. Oh wow, this actually works out really well if you think about it.
And then who's the bad guy,
The
the eye
dog.
there?
Oh yeah, so that could be Sweetums, the big giant guy.
Yeah.
So if you had
Either that or Snuffleupagus could be him too. He's got kind of the big eyes with the he'd have one eye in the middle. That's it.
okay, so we have Kermit and Piggy are Kermit's Aragorn, Piggy is Arwen. Gonzo is Frodo. I think Fozzie Bear should be Sam. I think Rizzo should be Merry or Pippin, and Rolf should be the other one, Merry or Pippin. Rolf's the dog. That way you have these sort of more main characters doing the main character thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Waldorf and Statler could be both. One of them could be the Steward of Gondor, and the other one could be the King of Rohan. Or maybe they're the. See, Kelly, I think Frodo has to be Gonzo, and you make Kermit Aragorn as he's going after the ring. So he's still a hero.
Yeah.
That's my thinking there. And of course, all three films, it's constantly they're singing. And I think that Ian McKellen, the only
every one of these ones we're doing, all they're doing is singing. So
they have to sing all the time.
Yeah.
Snuffleupagus is from Sesame Street. Yeah, but Jim Henson invented it. So he created those characters.
They're all related.
We're using that. Yeah. There is a Muppet Jim Henson. You know what? So I'm into these a little too much. You know who could be singing Wormtail could be Beaker, and he's speaking into the king of the king of not Gondor, the king of why am I forgetting it? He goes me, and that's what's makes the king Theoden turn old. Sauron is Miss Piggy.
There you go.
The king of Rohan has Beaker talking to his ear that turns him into it. Sauron is Miss Piggy. We're thinking Sauron's got to be Arwen if Kermit is Aragorn. Miss Sauron's got to be, I think, like Sweetums, or maybe who could be Saruman, the bad guy, the Wizard of White. That would have to be Sam Eagle. Again, Sam Eagle cast as a bad guy is really funny.
All right, so I got one more.
And all right, let's see it.
We'll move on. Jaws, the first one.
Oh, see, I have done everything I could to not watch that movie. So, like that.
You've never seen Jaws?
I have seen pieces of it. I even was at Universal as a kid. You saw the big Jaws thing hanging there. I never watched that film, and
that
just
is
couldn't
a classic. That is a classic.
Maybe we'll have to do. We have to do our classic movie reviews. We haven't done those in a while. Maybe you'll have to throw that one at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I could just imagine, them hunting the shark, and they're all singing the whole time. I mean, including the shark. The shark's singing too, because the shark is a Muppet.
Obviously,
Oh
the
boy.
fishermen have to be the Swedish Chef. A major fisherman character has to be the Swedish Chef.
Yeah, yeah.
Bird, bird, bird.
And then so Kermit and Miss Piggy play the oh, what's his name? Roy Scheider. Um, what was his name? I can't remember on the show, but the actor was Roy Scheider, and then his wife. That would be them, and then they have 2 kids, so probably let's see. Um, boy, which one should I go with? Wow. I'll just animals, one of them. No, Statler and Waldorf, they're the kids. That'll work on
Oh,
that
there you
one
go.
because
So
they're
you
always
don't
fighting
call them the
anyway.
kids, you call them like their parents or like their uncles. That way you do that. So
Yeah.
the this is something that out of all the films, okay, so we went through a bunch. By the way, Back to the Future also would probably be pretty good with Muppets.
Oh,
The only
yeah.
non-Muppet is Doc Brown, by the way.
Yeah.
Again, I think you'd have to have it's either Kermit would have to be Marty McFly. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Um,
You make a
out
good
of all
Kermit.
these films, I would go see a remake of the Terminator because I think that's hilarious. I would go see the remake of I'd probably do the Jurassic Park one, and I would definitely see the Sound of Music one. If they were tomorrow, and by the way, Disney, you own the Sound of Music and you own the Muppets. You can make this happen,
Can make it happen. People
and
would watch it.
people would watch that. I do they own Indiana Jones too, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
They
Like,
could
they
make
own the
that
rights
happen.
to it. Yeah.
I think they bought it when they bought Lucasfilms. They could make that happen.
Yeah.
No way they can make Mission Possible happen. That's Paramount. I don't know who owns Terminator, but Indiana Jones, they could make a remake of Sound of Music with Muppets, and you could have Julie Andrews make a cameo,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that would be hilarious. Yeah, my wife and my account said the singing in Jurassic Park. I think that if they remade it with Muppets, the singing as the dinosaurs, in this case Sesame Street characters, are going after people is kind of hilarious to think about.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah, that
Kelly,
would work.
I'm not missing watching Jaws because, me never wanting to go to the beach again after watching Jaws. Yeah. I don't have any interest where Jaws takes place. I know it takes place in New England. Grew up way too close to that whole area. Don't need to do that. No, I'm just not interested in watching a movie about, I will say this, one of the most iconic movie posters of all time though.
They have one of the Jaws props at Universal Studios. Been there for years. But,
Yeah,
the one of the ones they used in the movie, the first movie.
they used to have
So,
like the whole water section set up to look just like it, didn't they?
yeah,
So
it's still there. Still there. So, it's cool. I mean, I went there as a teenager, and then, years and years later, we went when we first went back a few years ago, like, "Oh, it's still there." So, it's pretty cool. Stick
well
your
that
face in the mouth of the shark and take a picture. But, yeah.
well by
That
the
that
way,
is a movie
everybody,
you gotta watch. You gotta watch
uh,
it.
well, maybe if you give me an official challenge in a couple weeks, well,
I will.
I'll suck it up and I'll be alone watching this shark movie
Hey,
because
I'll
there's
watch it with you. I'll watch it with you.
no
That's a
way my
classic.
wife will watch it. She'll like, you're on your own. Oh man.
Alright. Well,
Well, let
let's move on to our last segment here.
sounds good.
Alright.
Okay, so we've been doing what's this? Make him watch Jaws 3D.
Jaws 3D.
I don't even want to know what that means.
Be awesome.
uh so we've been doing apologetics last couple weeks, and tonight I want to just like give people some encouragement as far as it goes. Uh so Ken, we had I had a member of my church ask questions about like people who believe in atheism, and how to directly deal with an atheist. Somebody who's like, I am an atheist. Um, I'm gonna be real quick on this one. Here's just a few of my gut reactions to somebody telling you they're an atheist. And you tell me if this rings true with you. It I think people are less inclined to call themselves are in America. I think that it takes something really, really horrendous or some sort of teenage rebellion, some sort of hurt for you to come out and say, I'm an atheist. I don't think people are comfortable in our country admitting honestly that they're atheists. I don't believe that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the people that I've talked to that say they're atheists, it's always like something happened to them, something at a point in their life, maybe traumatic that caused them to suddenly say, "I just," you know, it's like a rejection. Like, I can't believe a God would allow this to happen to me, or allow this to happen to a loved one, and they just, it's like out of anger, they just try to snuff God out like he doesn't exist. I've
Yeah.
run into that more than once. And
I yeah.
other people, because a lot of people will say they're agnostic, right?
Yeah.
But to say you're an atheist, it's like there's usually something in your background that like really shoved you that direction, something traumatic.
Yeah, it's not I said this to somebody, and I think it's true. I think you are more accepted coming out as a homosexual than you are coming out as an atheist in the current America.
Hmm.
How's that? How's that for a hot take? I think
Well,
people are, you know?
because to say that you're an atheist is to say this is all there is, and when I die, I'm worm food and
Yeah.
I'm gone. I mean, not a lot of people truly, are gonna believe that, knowing every second of every day they're that much closer to the end of nothing in their mind,
Yeah.
So it's easier for people to say, I just don't know. I'm an agnostic. I just don't know. Hopefully it all works out. I won't think about it today. I'll worry about it later. And hopefully, we'll all end up in a better place. Right. That's
Yeah.
so,
I think
but yeah.
most people so again, this is unique to our experience in America. I was talking to a pastor who emigrated here from Sweden. In Sweden, people are just like, I'm an atheist. And it's
Mm,
just really common over there to just be like, oh yeah, I'm an atheist. And then that's the end of the conversation.
mm,
Eh, but over here, I am right there. I think something traumatic has happened in your life, either to you in particular or someone you care for, and that experience is so poisonous in your heart that that's when you say you're an atheist in our context.
right.
Um, so when you are dealing with somebody, this is my advice. If you're dealing with somebody who says, I am an atheist, you're dealing with an emotive issue. You're not dealing with an intellectual issue. There is something else going on.
Mhm.
There is there is hurt. There is some sort of hurt that has occurred in this person's life that needs to be addressed. If it's a teenager who's saying it to you, uh, I'll, maybe they're just trying to get a rise out of you. Ken, you and I have been in youth ministry before. Teens will do that. They will try to get a rise out of you.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but um, but if it's an adult, yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
Um, and so when that happens, and I do believe this is a rare situation, when that happens, you need to rely on your witness and your testimony. You know, um, they're going to have a hard time getting over this hurt. So, say for example, someone they love got sick and died. It didn't happen to them, but someone they loved dearly got sick and died, and they thought that God was unfair, and so now they they just despise him. They hate him. and they're at the point where they want to say he's not real.
Mhm.
I am of the opinion that there is no such thing as a person who truly believes there isn't a God. They're just a people who reject him and so then say that there isn't a God, and really they just hate him.
Right.
Um, um, I've seen it where people are hurt and they hate him.
Well, and I think that's
Why does
true.
Yeah,
I think that's true everywhere because when you look at, like communism comes from atheism and
yeah,
Christians that are in those communist countries are being persecuted. It's like, I don't hate Santa Claus because he's not real. I don't care.
yeah,
But why do these people who say God isn't real hate those who follow God? It's like that they're really admitting that they don't really believe there is no God. You can't hate something that doesn't exist, right?
yeah,
But yet, on one hand, they'll say there is no God, and then they show hatred towards the God and the followers of the God that they say doesn't exist. They're contradicting themselves. They're really showing what's really going on is they hate God and they want
yeah.
to pretend he doesn't exist. Kind of like a slap in the face. That's really what
Yeah,
it's about.
the thing that never made sense to me about how communist, Marxist, socialists handle God is if he is an opiate for the masses, he's not real. He's just a intellectual drug to numb you.
Mhm.
Then why do you care?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you should be totally indifferent. But again, historically in communism, they'd hunt down the Christians. And by the
Right.
way, they'd only hunt down the Christians. They wouldn't hunt down the Muslims or the Jews or anyone. They purposely come after the Christian faith. It
Mm.
is still the case globally today in those kind of situations.
Yeah.
Because let me say this: only one of those religions has a true God, and that's the one with Christ in it. Um, and so you have these people, but for somebody in the U.S. to say they're an atheist, you need to live a life that shows that you are not like the hurt they've experienced and that you've experienced grace and love and reconciliation in a way that is real. Um,
Mhm.
you need to let your walk and your talk match because hurt is hard. Now, if you're dealing with teenage rebellion, um, you need to be giving that person the gospel. You need to give that teen the gospel repeatedly. Don't be afraid to give that teen the gospel, because I hate to say it, it's could be kind of a phase because we grow out of kids that go into that kind of rebellion are probably mad at their parents in some way,
Well, and part of it too is
or just culture.
kids are taught this in school. So
Yeah,
that's part of I think, part of it is, going through those stages in life and then you hear this stuff in school and you think, okay, well, if these teachers are telling me this, then it must be true because they say it's fact. And so they struggle with that and some of them start believing it.
well,
I think
and
that's
also
also
you
part of
have
it.
people here who are trying to get to your kids.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and there are, back in the day, you wouldn't become an atheist simply or easily because you would have no one to connect with you from halfway across the country, let alone halfway across the world,
Yeah.
promoting these ideas. You'd have to go out of your way to find them. Now somebody could get into your kid's back pocket in less than 2 minutes in a forum.
Hmm.
But generally, if somebody says they're an atheist, my best advice to you, if this happens, is to live meaningfully and purposefully, to realize that this might be somebody who's very hurt and to just love on them and be consistent. What I find with somebody who says they're an atheist, when I was in college, I had a neighbor in the dorm next to me. He was kind of a goth kid. But I think he only wore black because he liked it, not because he was like really mentally there.
Mm.
um, Pretty stereotypical goth guy. Hygiene, not great. Attitude, as bad as his hygiene. All black clothing. The clothing was all ripped up.
Hmm.
And I think he only reason he said he was an atheist was because he was raised Roman Catholic and he wanted to get his parents mad at him.
Mm.
Maybe his mom and dad weren't kind, or maybe, when I was coming up, and Ken, even when you were a younger man too, the Roman Catholic Church kind of imploded in the late 90s, early 2000s, from a lot of really, really bad things that happened.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in that tradition just like walked away. Or that's the whole spiritual world they knew. And so they wanted to revolt against it because of the really awful things that happened over there. But
Yeah.
generally, it was because of hurt. They'd hear our arguments and they'd be like, I understand. I just don't believe it.
Right.
And so, yeah, just this is a whole other thing. When it comes to emotion, arguments aren't going to treat emotion. What you're going to do with apologetics is it will give you the answers for when they let their guard down for a little bit so that you can speak to them. So, like, for example, why should I believe the Bible? Well, the Bible comports to history. The Bible is literally God's word. God's word says as much, and it internally is consistent with reality. Not that external things are the measure of Scripture, but external things even comport or come alongside or show that it is true. So, like, you have Josephus, who's in the first century. What he says, the New Testament agrees with. And so
Yeah.
you have things outside of it that agree with it. It agrees with itself. But you have those things in your mind, but you have to earn the conversation, I think is the way to put it. I'm trying to think, when we were ministering together, Ken, I don't think we had a lot of that where we had to earn the conversation with a lot of kids. With young people in particular, I think it takes a little bit, and then you have the ability to speak into their lives.
Yeah.
For adults, it's going to take a lot of unwinding,
Hmm.
because herd gets cooked in pretty hard the older you get.
Yeah.
And so be faithful, love on these people. I know this is like, we just had all this silly time about the Muppets and I'm bringing it down here. But this is where the rubber meets the road, where your faith has to be alive to take care of and love on the person. It's kind of amazing, Ken. I didn't plan on, actually, I had a whole nother topic picked over here, but I've been thinking about a person who says they're atheist out and out, because I've had several questions on it lately.
Mm.
And the reality is that atheism is completely illogical. It's a borderline rejection of the Holy Spirit, which is, you got to be careful. Now, you
Yeah.
can only commit the unpardonable sin upon death, but like, these people, they need us to be the Christians that they've told us that we're supposed to be,
Right.
you know? And the thing is that by the power of the Holy Spirit, you can be. And an atheist is not unreachable. One of my deacons was an atheist.
Mm.
God can do that. This is the one thing. I don't think we've ever had the conversation if you are completely a Calvinist or not, Ken. I am. And the one thing I believe that Calvinism has showed me, and I don't, as I understand it through the Scripture, is if you're a Calvinist, you believe that your evangelism is actually effective. It will work. If you're not a Calvinist, in my understanding, is that when you do evangelism, it's like playing Yahtzee and hoping you get all sixes.
Right.
For the Calvinists, when the day of election occurs, there's nothing you can do to stop it from happening. Like, that person will accept the Lord on the day they're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Your and my responsibility is to go out and shoot our shot, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, like, we have to go share. God has picked men to do it. We are His means. But upon the day of salvation, when we share, that's the day, and you will be 100% effective in the moment that you're supposed to be, as opposed
Right.
to always potentially effective.
Right.
Um, but again, for you have to go out there, earn those conversations with those that are hurt emotionally. And I guess we're talking about atheism in particular, but in general, the people who have been hurt, you have to earn the conversation. You know, I
Yeah.
do believe that there's some people out there where you'll just go and witness and boom, they'll become a Christian. I've seen it happen. But for the people in your life, you're gonna have to earn those conversations.
Yeah.
I could tell you personal experience. Um, there's a supermarket near me that Ken and I know, and I shop there all the time. I think it's my kid's favorite store. And they know I'm a pastor there. We go, Ken, I don't know if this happens to you. We go to the supermarket to get like 5 things, and it takes me an hour because I'm talking to everybody. And I'm giving the gospel. I'm just doing counseling work. And as they see who you are, I'll tell you this. A year ago to today, I get more prayer requests for things that are harder for me to hear.
Mm.
That's because they know that I'm a person they can ask these hard questions.
Yeah, you're earning their trust.
And we do pray for them. And I had a good story. I had a single mom whose son just graduated from high school.
Mm.
She's weepy about it. And you're like, hey, you know what? I encouraged her, said, you did your job. You did a good job. And God is proud when you parent well, and he gave you your sons in particular because he knew you do the best job.
Mhm.
And it's like, and you can be proud of that. And there's a biblical pride like that's fine. You can be proud of being a good parent and doing what God has called you to do. And at the same time, for this woman, I was telling her, and you know what? It's okay for you to be emotional about this because God gave you, Ken, I don't know about you, but if I could, I would turn my emotions off and I'd just be Spock all day. Like, I don't want to feel anything. I don't need to feel things. That's
Yeah. It can be helpful
but
sometimes.
oh man. See, here's the thing. You and I would never turn them back on. Oh, I have that off, huh? Anyway.
Oops. I can't find the switch.
When's the last time you turned them on? You're supposed to turn it back on? Anyway, so it's trying, she felt terrible that she felt terrible. Like, no, this is what you do. And like, so we prayed. I prayed for her, I prayed that she would, be sad and be happy well. And that he would have he's going to college, so he'd have a good experience with that. And then he'd make good decisions. And you earn the conversation. So just my Christian friend out there, earn your conversations. Don't be afraid to share. People need it. And I'll tell you what, even if they don't believe, if you say you pray for them, most normal people want the prayer. They really do.
Yeah.
That's what I got tonight. Next week, I'll stick to my notes and not just jive.
No, that was good. That was good.
I had something totally prepared about using the Bible as a tool for evangelization, and you don't need external documents to prove it. I kind of grazed that, but we'll do that next week.
Do that next week. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And Dave, thank you for that segment. And we can all I have that Muppet song in my head from the show. So I'm probably gonna wake up in the middle of the night with that Muppet song in my head. So but anyway, we suffer so you guys don't have to. But have a good
Someday
week.
we'll find it, Ken. The Rainbow Connection.
Yes. You all have a good week, and we will
Good night,
see you
everybody.
next time.